Question number 14. A parallel plate air capacitor of capacitance C is connected to a cell of voltage V and then disconnected from it a dielectric slab of dielectric constant K, a dielectric slab of dielectric constant K which can just fill the air gap of the capacitor is now inserted. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Which of the following statements is incorrect? Option A. Energy stored in the capacitor decreases K times. Energy stored in the capacitor decreases K times. Option B. The change in energy stored is half CV square, bracket starts, 1 by K minus 1, half CV square, first bracket starts, 1 by K minus 1, bracket close. Option C. The charge on the capacitor is not conserved. The charge on the capacitor is not conserved. Option D. The potential difference between the plates decreases K times. Potential difference between the plates decreases K times.
Option C.
This is a straightforward question. Because since it is disconnected from the battery, so the charge will remain constant. And option C is saying charge will not remain conserved, so that is wrong. Then charge will come through the battery, then potential difference will be charge. Okay, right now, next question. This is C answer. Question number 16. A series combination of N1 capacitance, small n1 means n1 number of capacitance, N1 capacitance, each of value C1 is charged by a source of potential difference 4V, by a source of potential difference 4V, when another parallel combination of N2 capacitors, each of value C2 is charged by a source of potential difference, V, comma, it has the same total energy stored in it. As the first combination has. The value of C2 in terms of C1 is option A 2C1 by N1 N2, option B 16 N2C1 divided by N1, option C 2 N2C1 divided by N1, option D 16C1 divided by N1 N2. Calculate the energy stored in the two cases and then equate. So in first case, all N1 capacitors are connected in series. So their equivalent capacitance is C1 by N1. So in the first case, energy stored is half C1 by N1 into 4V whole square. Okay, half CV square. So half C equivalent. So in the first case, all N1 capacitors connected in series. So in case of capacitor in series combination, C1 by N1 is the equivalent capacitance into 4V square. In the second case, all C2 capacitors N2 capacitors are connected in parallel. So their equivalent is N2C2 into V square. Then calculate. C1 by N1 into 16 V square equal to N2 C2 V square. So C2 equal to 16 C1 by N1 into N2. That is option B. Okay, next chapter, write down current electricity. Set one questions. Question number Question number 9. A wire of resistance 4 ohm. A wire of resistance 4 ohm is stretched to twice its original length. The resistance of the stretched wire will be no option 16 because it will be n squared times increased by 2, so n is 2, so 2 square is 4. It will be 16 centimeters. It's 16 ohm. A wire of resistance 4 ohm is stretched to twice its original length. The resistance of the stretched wire will be next question. A cell when connected with a resistance R1 produces power P across R1. When R1 is replaced by another resistance R2, the same power will be produced across R2. Then find the internal resistance of the cell. R1 and R2 are external, we connected. You have to find out the internal resistance of that particular cell. See, in the first case, capital R1, small r, EMF. Let the current flowing is I1. In the second case, R2, R, current flowing I2. So I1 equal to E by R1 plus R. R1 plus R. Similarly, I2 equal to E by R2 plus R. Then power developed across the external resistance are equal. Means I1 square R1 equal to I2 square R2. Take square root. I1 root R1 equal to I2 root R2. Then substitute E into root over of R1 divided by R1 plus R equal to E root R2 by R2 plus R. Then simplify and find small r. You cannot use V square by R across the resistances R1 and V square by R1 and V square by R2 you cannot calculate because V is potential difference is not constant across R1 and R2 because different current is flowing through the circuit in two cases. Answer is root over of R1 into R2. How? After just simple calculation. See, after this, if you multiply, cross multiply, then it will be R2 root R1 plus R root R1 equal to R1 root R2 plus R root R2. Okay. Then R root R1 minus R root R2 can be written as R1 root R2 minus R2 root R1. Now from this take R1 common. It will be root R1 minus root R2. And from this we can take common root over of R1 into R2. Then this term will be root R1 minus root R2. Multiply. Root R1 means R1, another root R2. Root R2, root R2. R2, another root R2. You understand? That step? So we can always consider that this R1 means root R1 whole square and this R2 is root R2 whole square. From that I take root R1 R2 common. So this is your answer, root R1 R2. Write down question number 16. If power dissipated in the 9 ohm resistor in the circuit is 36 watt, if power dissipated in 9 ohm resistor in the circuit is 36 watt, the potential difference across the 2 ohm resistor is option A 8 volt, option B 10 volt, option C 2 volt, option D 4 volt. Option A 8 volt, option B 10 volt, option C 2 volt and option D 4 volt. Circuit is given 9 ohm, 6 ohm, the battery voltage V, this is 2 ohm, this is the First calculate the current through this 9 ohm by using the relation P equal to I square R. Calculate what is the current flowing through this 2 ampere. Okay, then these two are connected in. So if 2 ampere current flows through this, then obviously 3 ampere current flows through this, because in parallel combination potential difference remains constant. So 9 into 2, that is 18 volt. 6 into 3 is 18 volt. So current through this one will be 3 ampere. So what is the total current? 2 plus 3, 5. Passing through 2 ohm. So what will be the voltage against 2 ohm? 10. Right now, problem number 20. Two heater coils separately take 10 minute and 5 minute to boil a certain amount of water. If both the coils are connected in series, the time taken for boiling that same amount of water, is option A 2.5 minute, option B 3.33 minute, option C 7.5 minute, option D 15 minute. See, you have to use this equation, H equal to V square by R into T. Because current in different cases are different, because resistance will be different. Only the potential difference applied for the heating will be constant. Okay. Now for this calculation, our main purpose is to boil a certain amount of water. So a certain amount of water for boiling always takes same amount of heat. Suppose temperature is increased from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius. So in any cases, it will take the same amount of heat it will absorb, and as a result it will reach to the boiling point. Then this H remain constant, T remain constant. V remain constant. Both of these are constant. So in that case we can write T by R is equal to constant. T by R is constant. So T proportional to R. So as the resistance increases, the time taken for boiling the water will increase. So in first case, if I write T1 by T2, then it will be equal to R1 by R2. T1 is given 10 minutes. T2 is 5 minutes. So we got R1 by R2. So we get R1 equal to 2R2. Next time I will again write T1 by T3, that is equal to R1 by R3. Okay. So what is T1? This is T3. This we have to calculate. And then R1 is 2R2. 2R2. R3 is R1 plus R2. That means 2R2 plus R2. That is 3R2. So T3 is coming 15. Two cases are R1, R2. I consider the third case R3 is the series connection of R1 and R2. Write down question number 25. A current of 2 ampere flows through a 2 ohm resistor. A current of 2 ampere flows through a 2 ohm resistor when connected across a battery. When connected across a battery. The same battery supplies a current of 0.5 ampere when connected across a 9 ohm resistor. When connected across a 9 ohm resistor, the internal resistance of the battery is option A 1/3 ohm, option B 1/4 ohm, option C 1 ohm, option D 0.5 ohm. See, only this equation you have to use. I equal to E by R plus small r. Okay. So in the first case, it is said that two ampere current flows through 2 ohm resistor when connected across a battery. 2 ampere current E by this is 2 ohm resistor. So this is your first equation. Second equation is 0.5 ohm. Current 0.5 ampere current flows across 9 ohm resistor, because if R is changed to 9, current will become 0.5. 0.5 means half, equal to E by 9 plus R. So these are two equations. Now divide these two. So it will be 2 divided by half means 4, and this one is E by 2 plus R into 9 plus R by E. Then 8 plus 4R equal to 9 plus R. So 3R equal to 1. R equal to 1/3 ohm. I1 in the given circuit, the cells capital A and capital B have negligible internal resistances. If V suffix A is 500 ohm, V suffix A is 12 volt. If VA is 12 volt, comma, R1 equal to 500 ohm, R1 equal to 500 ohm, and R equal to 100 ohm, the galvanometer G shows no deflection. Galvanometer G shows no deflection. Then find the value of VB. Okay, then find the value of VB. Option A 4 volt, option B 2 volt, option C 12 volt, option C 6 volt. Option A 4 volt, option B 2 volt, option C 12 volt, option D 6 volt. See, when galvanometer shows no deflection, means current through this line will be 0. So we can consider that the entire current I is flowing along this path. Then from that first calculate this I, that is R1 into I plus R into I, that should be equal to VA. Now from this first calculate this I. To this, so you have to finally find out the potential difference across this, means that IR. Calculate. This one is given 500, this one is 100. So this one is 500 plus 100 means it will be 600 I. This battery's voltage is 12 volt. So I will be 12. So this will be 2 into 10 to the power minus 2 ampere. Okay. Now potential difference across this one will be IR. That will be 2 volt. Because this is I, R is 100, 100 means 10 to the power 2, so it will be 2 volt. Now, current through this will be 0 only when this voltage and this voltage are equal. So VB is also 2 volt. If this battery's potential and this resistance's potential across these resistors are equal, then no current will flow through the galvanometer. Okay. Question number 36. The resistance of the four arms. The resistances of the four arms P, Q, R and S. P, Q, R and S of a Wheatstone bridge R. Of a Wheatstone bridge R. 10 ohm, 30 ohm, 30 ohm and 90 ohm. The EMF and internal resistance of the cell are 7 volt and 5 ohm. 7 volt and 5 ohm. If the galvanometer resistance is 100 ohm, if the galvanometer resistance is 100 ohm, the current, find the current drawn from the cell. Find the current drawn from the cell. No option because I have changed the data. This question is in NEET 2013, so you have given that, so that's why I changed one data. The resistance of the four arms P, Q, R, S in a Wheatstone bridge are 10 ohm, 30 ohm, 30 ohm and 90 ohm. 10, 30, 30, 90. The EMF and internal resistance of the cell 7 volt, 5 ohm. Galvanometer resistance 50. The current drawn from the cell. See, in the NEET paper, the question is galvanometer resistance is 50 ohm. I change 100. That will not affect anything. Because after all, the bridge resistance is eliminated because the ratio in the two arms are same. Answer will be 0.2 ampere. How? How you have solved? A ring is made of a wire having a resistance (12 ohm). Find the points A and B. Find the points A and B at which a current carrying conductor should be connected. A current carrying conductor should be connected so that resistance between so that the resistance between this circuit, these points, resistance between these points will be equal to 8 by 3 ohm. Will be equal to 8 by 3 ohm. In this point B, suppose this length L1, this length L2. Option A, L1 by L2 equal to 5 by 8. Option B, L1 by L2 equal to 1 by 3. Option C, L1 by L2 equal to 3 by 8. Option D, L1 by L2 equal to half. Means this entire wire, it has resistance 12 ohm. Now you are connecting, suppose, these 2 points by using a conductor. Then across these 2 points, the equivalent resistance is given, that is 8 by 3. Then what should be the ratio of L1 and L2? A ring is made of a wire having resistance 12 ohm. Find the points A and B at which a current carrying conductor should be connected so that the resistance of the circuit between these 2 points is equal to 8 by 3 ohm. Okay, options L1 by L2 5 by 8, L1 by L2 1 by 3, L1 by L2 3 by 8, L1 by L2 1 by 2. See, resistance is directly proportional to length if area of cross section remain constant. Then we consider R1 and R2 are the resistance of these 2 arcs. Then we know that R1 plus R2 is 12. Ohm, that is given. And when you are connecting a conductor between A and B, means R1 and R2 will become parallel. In parallel combination, equivalence will be R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. That is given 8 by 3. Second equation. So from this substitute 12 here equal to 8 by 3. So R1 R2, this product is 32 ohm. So from this equation and this equation, now find R1 and R2 individually. That is R1 minus R2 whole square equal to R1 plus R2 whole square minus 4 R1 R2. Okay. So it will be R1 minus R2 whole square equal to 12 square means 144 minus 12 into minus 4 into this one.
minus R2 whole square.
এইটা হ্যাঁ এটা কত পেলাম
না ওইটা তো বুঝছি কিন্তু স্যার ওই জিনিসটা নিজে নিছে আবার মাইনাস R2 হোল স্কয়ার হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
এটার পরে এটা
ওই লাইনটাই ওই
লাইনটা এলো কি করে আচ্ছা ওকে ফাইন R1 plus R2 I have another equation R1 R2. So if I have R1 minus R2, then it is easy for me to solve this simultaneous equation and find R1 and R2. That's why I use this formula. Otherwise, you can find R2 equal to 32 by R1 and substitute here and solve. It will become quadratic equation and you have to solve. So to bypass all those quadratic equations, I use this algebraic formula. Then otherwise equation will be R1 plus 32 by R1 equal to 12. From that, if I want to solve R1, it will be more difficult.
Sir, I don't know that formula.
You don't know that formula? Write down and calculate. Write down a plus b whole square. Write down minus a minus b whole square. And then calculate and tell me what is coming. The charge flowing through a resistor R. The charge flowing through a resistor R varies with time. Charge flowing through a resistor R varies with time. As T equal to there is as capital Q equal to 80 small a into T minus BTQ AT minus BTQ where BTQ where A and B are positive constants, where A and B are positive constants, the total heat produced across capital R, the total heat produced across capital R when the amount of charge flow is maximum. Just beginning of the line, write down calculate total heat produced across capital R when charge flow through the resistor is maximum. Calculate the total heat produced across resistance R when charge flow through it is maximum. Question is in NEET 16 2016 paper, but I modified the question. Okay, so this one is given Q equal to AT minus BTQ. Then first calculate dQ dt. This will give you current, that is A minus B dt square. Now when charge flow will be maximum, then this first derivative should be 0. So setting this one equal to 0, I can write A minus d3 dt square equal to 0. So T should be equal to A by 3B, its root. At this time, value of this time, charge flow, rate of charge flow will become 0, means charge flow will be maximum. Q will be maximum. Okay. Charge passing through the resistor will be maximum at this time. Don't take the negative value because negative time has no significance. Now I have to calculate heat developed from beginning when the charge flowing will be maximum. Means I have to calculate H equal to integral I square R dt. The limit of time is from 0 to root over of A by 3. Now calculate. Heat developed from beginning to when the charge flow will be maximum. So within that limit you have to integrate to find the heat developed. In the NEET paper, the question is, it is given 80 minus Bt square and they are asking for the total current flow. I have changed it to Btq and asked that the current flow from the beginning when the charge remains will be maximum charge is flowing through the circuit. Now one thing I haven't said, will it be maximum charge or will it be minimum charge that flows to the circuit during which you are calculating the current? Is it the current flowing? Is it the heat developed across the resistor when maximum charge is flowing through the resistor or minimum charge is flowing through the resistor? You haven't checked that. Whatever I have given in the question, you calculate directly. So how to check that? Just calculate a double derivative of this expression. Then you can say double derivative of this expression will be d2q dt2. That will be, first term will be 0 minus 6 dt. So double derivative negative means the charge flow will be maximum. That means the question is correct. If double derivative comes out to be positive, then after that time it will be minimum. Bt is coming and t is already positive. T cannot be negative. So if you put the positive value of t, then double derivative will be also negative. Okay, double derivative negative means maximum occurs. So the maximum charge is going through the circuit at this time. Initially, no charge is flowing, and then the maximum charge flowing is at root over of A by 3B. So during that time, you have to calculate the heat developed across the resistor. So I square R dt integral 0 to root A by 3B. That you have to calculate. I is already calculated, that is dq dt, that is I, a minus 3bt square. You have to substitute that squaring and then after that calculate. Long calculation. So this H is coming. A by 3B, A square plus 9B square e to the power 4. R is constant, so taken out, minus 6AB square dt. Okay. After squaring, this one a square plus 9b square t4 minus 2ab, that means 2a into 3b t square means minus 6ab t square. Now, so first integral will be a square integral dt 0 to root over of a by 3b. Next one is plus 9b square integral 0 to root over of a by 3b t4 dt minus 6ab integral t square dt 0 to root over of a by 3b. So it will be r, this one is t, so it will be root over of a by 3b only. Plus 9b square, it will be t to the power 5 by 5. So 5 is coming out. So t to the power 5 means a by 3b whole to the power 5 by 2. Then minus 6ab t to the power 3 by 3. So it will be a by 3b to the power 3 by 2. Okay, then remaining terms you can also simplify and find the answer, or you can keep in this. If there is option, then you have to definitely solve until the particular form comes. Otherwise you cannot verify. I'll give you a very simple mathematics. X plus 1 by x equal to 2, then find the value of x5 plus 1 by x5. It is very simple. From the first given equation, find the value of x. Do this LCM and find the value of x from this equation. It is still easy. Only you are not solving. x5 plus 1 by x5. It can be written as just multiply and check whether left side is coming or not. X to the power 5 coming. Then this term will be give you 1 by x. Then next term x. Next term 1 by x to the power 5. I have already subtracted this part. That means 1x plus 1 by x, that is cancelled. So left side and right side both are equal. Then for this part I can write x plus 1 by x whole cube minus 3 into x into 1 by x into x plus 1 by x. This first part, that is a plus b whole cube. A cube plus b cube can be written as a plus b whole cube minus 3ab into a plus b. So I use that format. A is x, b is 1 by x. Then multiply with this x square plus 1 by x square means x plus 1 by x whole square minus 2 minus x plus 1 by x. So just substitute the value of x plus 1 by x and solve. So it will be 3 cube. 3 cube means 27 minus 3 into this one is 3, that is 9. 3 square means 9 minus 2 minus 3. So this is 18 into 7 minus 3. 126 minus 3. During solving physics problem, you have to be fast in calculation. Otherwise, it is difficult to complete the paper within the given time format. So that's why little bit of mathematics. What Dhawan sir is teaching in the class, just practice. Practice daily 3 to 4 problems, normally mathematics problems, what sir is giving to all of you, that in that case your problem solving skill will increase, and remember fast calculation is required for any competitive exam. If you take too many time to calculate, then actually you will have less time to solve the other questions. Okay, so don't forget that, don't say that we will bypass all the mathematics. That is not possible.